Black Middletown Project, section number 2. What things did you bring with you when you came to Muncie?
Just my own clothing, and other personal things. So my father always lived here, just like bedding, own clothing, other personal things.
Who else came with you when you came to Muncie?
Just my brothers and sisters.
Did your mother come also?
No, my mother, my mother and my father, they weren't together at that time. And just us kids at that time, we were living with my uncle in Tennessee at that time. And father sent a man down to bring us back to Muncie.
What did your brothers and sisters bring with them?
The same as I did, their own clothing and things like that. Oh, we could bring, and other personal items.
Do you feel that you were held back because of racial discrimination in the employment field?
Not at the time, but I don't think so. Because at the time, I started, in the foundry. Well, I didn't have any trouble getting a job because my father worked there, and back when he talked to the people, before I went, and I got a job.
What kind of work did blacks do? For example, were there any carpenters? Were there any?
Well, there were molders, chippers, grinders, and laborers too.
Did you know of any black carpenters at that time?
No.
Did you compete with whites on your job?
Yeah, I had to. Well, I worked. First started out, I worked in the core room, and the core makers, and they serviced the core makers. Then I had the opportunity to learn how to make cores, but after they give us colored fellas the opportunity to learn how to make cores, the whites didn't like it.
So what happened?
Oh, some of them quit, but that didn't make any difference. That made it better for us because we had the man that owned the place gave us a chance to carry things on. We did.
What year was this?
Oh, let's see. Oh, that's around that 38 or 39, 1938, 39.
How long had you worked there before that particular incident took place?
Oh, just about 4 years.
Were there any cases that occurred wherein a white worker was paid more than the black worker for doing the same type of job?
At that time, what they had is called a random rate system. Let two people working together. They always paid the white guy more than they did the colored man until they got a union. That's when they equalized the rates. The same job, you just can't pay one man more because you like him better than the other.
This random rate system, was this throughout the town? Or was it just in that factory?
No, it's throughout the town because it wasn't the union hadn't organized the place then. That's what broke it up, the union.
What about foreigners? Did you compete with them again for jobs?
No.
Did you get any on-the-job training? For example, if you wanted to advance and make more money, could you achieve that by getting more training?
Oh yeah, like the foreman was older than me at that time. So I was, like I said, I was servicing the core maker. And I had to work late sometimes. I watched the other people make these cores, see. And I figured I could do it. Then he showed me, about those certain jobs you had to make or what you had to do to make these jobs. It just depends on how large or how small. And some are delicate jobs, that takes skill. That's the time. That's what they didn't want the Negro to learn any skilled trades. See.
Could you describe your school? Going back. Excuse me.
Oh no, well, we had to. Just had all like a junior house with all the grades. It's a large schoolhouse. It's a large school, so anyway for high school. It's a large school. No, well, no one-room schoolhouse, nothing like that.
Did you have any black teachers?
No, none whatsoever. Not that time.
So the school was integrated.
Yes.
How did you feel about education?
Well, I feel I want to get an education. I tried hard to learn all I could.
Did you want to go to school but were not able because of work?
Oh, earlier before I come to Muncie, I wasn't able to finish the junior high until I come to Muncie on account of the financial part of it. At that time, during the Depression years, I didn't have the proper clothing and the money to buy books and things like that. So I finished up after I came to Muncie.
What school did you finish up at in Muncie?
And Wilson Junior High and Central High School.
What were some of the subjects you studied?
Well, I took up a vocational course, which was machine shop work in high school. Then I took up cooking. I posted a half semester and took up cooking. Because I always liked to cook. I had a chance to learn more about it.
Did you read any books about or by black?
Oh,
blacks?
Always did, when I could, find them.
Can you remember the names of any of the textbooks?
Oh, well, it's been so long I read about I know Booker T. Washington. Oh, I can't think of the name now.
Do you have any copies of those books with you today that you read back there?
No, I don't have. Moved about too much.
Did whites discourage education amongst black people?
Not that I know of, but they just didn't show them properly, just what they should take up, and try to show them a different thing, but they won't just put them in all in one category, just they don't want them to took skilled trade for anything that they didn't want to act. They were reluctant by showing them in the skilled trade. All they wanted to take up was carpentry. In that time, there wasn't nothing for Negroes doing carpentry work.
Were there any carpenters located in the city?
No. Just I would call it doing bootleg work. Guy that none didn't have no regular job doing carpentry. Just had to work with some white people, doing carpentry work.
Was your school principal black or white?
White.
Do you remember his name?
Well, the junior high school at down was Paul Addison. He's dead though now. And the high school principal, I can't think of his name now. He's been through so long, he's dead also, but I can't think of his name right now.
Did you go to school with a particular job in mind when you started?
Yeah, I always wanted to learn machine work. I learned to operate machine.
Did your schooling help you?
Oh yes, it meant lots. Lots of things I've done. If I hadn't had the education I had, I wouldn't have got the job.
Mm-hmm. Did blacks who graduated go on to study beyond high school?
Yes. I had to leave Muncie to do it.
Did any of your children attend college?
Yeah, my son, he's dead now, but he went to Valparaiso University.
What university is that again?
Valparaiso.
How many years of schooling did you finish?
12.
Most other black?
We got quite a few.
Did they also finish 12 years?
Yes.
Okay. What about your parents?
Well, they had, at that time they had schooling.
Do you remember how many years of
I
school?
was about fifth grade. At that time, that's probably all they could get. At that
Where
time.
did they receive their education?
In Tennessee.
Do you remember what school in Tennessee? Can you name some of the black colleges that you knew about when you were growing up?
Well, the most prominent one was Tuskegee. And Tuskegee, they talk about the Howard University. But Tuskegee was the main one. Well, then I'll take it with Wilberforce and Fisk University in Nashville.
Which blacks were most likely to go on to college? For example, were it children of laborers, children of businessmen?
In fact, all were labor. Trying to want the kids to, get a better education.
But was it a distinct individual? Was it a distinct characteristic of an individual's family that it allowed them to go on to college?
I don't think so.
Well, how were kids' education beyond high school financed?
But the parents, all they could do, once in a while, some, like a local, all they can give them, a little bit of money, a scholarship, like that.
What about children of domestic workers who worked for white?
Well, they all in the same category. They try to do the best they could for them, under the circumstances.
Did black college graduates come back to Muncie to work?
No. Them things for them.
What about transportation to school when you attended school in Muncie?
I attended school, I walked.
How far did you have to walk?
Oh, Lord, that's about, for junior high school, well, I ran that about 2 miles. Just walk back and forth.
Okay.
Well, the kids rode buses, but, that's cost, took money,
Were you ever punished in school?
No.
Were blacks punished more often than whites?
I don't know. I wouldn't say yes or no. I don't know. I know they were punished, but I don't know then the difference or not. I don't know.
Can you think of any black families where the entire family has worked for one white family over the years?
It used to be, but I couldn't name them at all. Like it used to be, like the Ball family, the Kitzman family, and things like that. It's quite a few worked on for years,
But you can't think of a family where the father worked, then the son worked, and then maybe another son?
No, nothing like that, no.
Why did blacks lose their jobs?
Well, a lot of them, the factories closing down.
This was during the years of the Depression.
Oh, Depression. Oh, well, there's no work.
What about after the Depression?
Well, most of those that had worked before, most of them, they got jobs.
Did many black workers have black bosses?
None. No such thing.
Did black workers prefer black bosses or white bosses?
They had a chance to find out.
Did blacks own any businesses? And if so, what were they?
Only black businesses I really know about was two. I said it was Ray Armstrong. He owned the shoe shop.
Where was the shoe shop located?
Well, it used to be located on South Water Street.
Okay, now what was the other business?
Oh, it was Smith Thompson Electrical Shop, electrical contractor.
And where was that located?
And Houghton Industry.
Repeat?
Industry.
Is that a street?
No, just another southeast part of town.
Okay. Were there any undertakers or
Well,
lawyers?
yes. Well, I mean the present or the past?
The past.
Well,
in the 30s.
John Patterson.
And he was
Undertaker.
where was his
It was looked
business
at
location?
right at this one right here, Curb and Hackler here. And another one. Well, there used to be a Johnson funeral home in Whiteley. It isn't anymore, but at that time. Then this had a Negro Tavern.
It was a Negro tavern.
Yeah.
Was that owned by blacks?
Mm-hmm.
And where was that located?
At that time, the located Jefferson and Second, Walt Lytle.
And the guy's name was
Walter Lytle, Lytle. Walter Lytle, Lytle. Then there was another one in Whiteley, Bragg's, another tavern in Whiteley, John Bragg's.
there was another black-owned tavern.
Yeah. And then, at that time they had a Colored American Legion.
Do you know where that was located?
First name, second in Mulberry. That time it didn't anymore, though. Don't have it.
Did you know of any blacks who managed any white-owned businesses? For example, black people were used as front to pretend that they own the business.
No.
Were there any black doctors, a dentist?
Oh yes, Dennis was Dr. Brooks.
And where was Dr. Brooks located?
Right here on First and just right off Hackler Street, First and Hackler Street field. And then there's Dr. Braden, physician. At that time, those were only two at that time. We don't have any now.
Okay. Were there any black midwives, nurses?
Not that I know of. I didn't know of.
Were there any epidemics during the 30s?
No, not I can remember them.
Mm-hmm. What was your basic diet?
I don't know the basic. That's it. I don't any kind of decent food.
Okay, what kind of food did you eat then?
Well, vegetables, meats and vegetables and fruits.
Did you grow your own food?
Oh, one time we did. For some of it.
Mm-hmm. Did you hunt?
Oh, yes. I hunted and fished all I could when I was able.
What type of...
I hunted all types of birds, rabbits, squirrels, and fish. Well, any kind of fish to catch.
Where did your family shop for food?
Well, used to be at a store right here, the Kirby and Ebright. We used to shop down there, different other places,
What was the name of the store at the corner of Kirby and Ebright?
IGA food store.
That was owned by a white
Yes,
man?
sir.
Okay. How many rooms were in the home in which you lived, you and your family?
Five room, kitchen and bath.
Okay. How many people lived in the house?
At the time, it was all of us, just five of us, 4 boys and a girl and my father.
Did anyone else live in the house who were not related to you all?
No.
How did your father or mother get you all's household furnishing?
Well, I don't know. My father, he'd already had house furniture, when he came.
Do you know whether he made them?
Oh, no, he bought them.
Would you happen to know where he may have brought them?
No, I don't.
Did you know whether he paid for them on credit or whether he paid cash for them?
I don't know that, because he done got everything taken care of.
Did your home have electricity in it?
Yes.
Running water?
Yes.
Did any black people use alcohol or drugs during those days, during the 30s?
No, some people use alcohol. No, you didn't hear anything about drugs at that time.
Where did they get the alcohol from?
Well, at that time, the bootleggers.
Do you know of any of these bootleggers? Would you know them by name?
No. It's been so long. They all went out of business years ago.
Were there any black bootleggers?
Oh, yes, that's what we got.
Where were they located?
Yes, right there. Most in the part of town, there's no section of town that all the boot.
Do you remember any sections distinctly where they were located that you may have heard someone say or that you saw?
It's just like an intersection of the city where they live. All sections.
But weren't blacks located in a particular section of the city? I mean, weren't they?
They were scattered about, but they wasn't just all bunched together. No one certain spot. Especially not this. Mostly in Wiley, where they're most all together, but no, not on this part of town. They're more closer together now than they were then, because most of the white people, they were living all over the city.
Okay. So you can't think of any of the bootleggers' names?
No.
Maybe there was a nickname.
No, I never. I didn't go to any places because at that time I didn't fool with anything.
Okay. What about your father? Maybe he knew of some.
No. He's a Bible man.
Where were blacks buried at that time?
At the beach school.
Were there any conjurers or healers located in the black community?
No, I didn't know of any.
One other thing. Did whites buy from the black bootleggers?
Oh, yes.
Were there more whites buying from them than black? Could you
Some of them congregate there. Some places like at them sometimes I find more them going in those places than the Negroes.
Was there any particular bootlegger? Maybe you don't know her name, but maybe you can tell me where she lived, or he lived, who was known for having the better type of liquor? Who were the black leaders in the nation during the 30s when you were growing up?
At that time, I couldn't say.
Did you join any black political groups such as the NAACP, Marcus Garvey group?
No, I wasn't the first. The NAACP, the one I bought membership first one.
What year was that?
I don't think it was.
Were you in high school?
No, that was after I finished high school.
Was it during the 30s?
I was 30, but I couldn't say she was 30 or 40.
Do you know who led the membership drive?
No, I don't. I said, they had different ones working, take the thing, get membership,
Did you, any member of your family serve in the military?
I served in the Navy, and my baby brother served in the Merchant Marine.
Mm-hmm. What year did you serve in the Navy?
In World War II.
Could you give me the year that you went in and the year that you got out?
42. That's about 42 and then 45.
How did you feel about the military?
Well, I like the Navy.
What about your brother? State his name and
Samuel. Now, he spent over 20 years in Merchant Marine. He was in the all during the World War II and after.
Did you vote?
Yes.
Where did you vote?
I was voting in the 20th precinct.
What was the location where you all went to vote at the voting machine?
At that time?
Right.
Right there at Willow and Newbright. It used to be a fire station in Willow and Newbright. I all voted there at that time. And when I got old enough.
Did you or any black or white? Let me rephrase that. Were any blacks paid by whites to stop them from voting? Were they paid to vote a certain way? Did whites pay blacks, any blacks that you know of, a certain way?
I heard that. I don't know for sure. I heard that.
Do you know who was doing the paying?
No. Well, they got certain Negroes working for them. They pay them, give them money to get so people to go their way. Thing.
Do you feel there were any shady dealings between whites and black politicians?
It always has been.
Can you give an example?
Well, a thing like this is the promises. Well, they were doing it then, they're doing it now. They promise what they're going to do, but they never fulfill.
Okay. Who were the local black leaders at that time?
Dr. Brooks, the dentist I was talking about. Well, he was one of the leaders at that time in politics. Working in politics.
What about the ministers at the church? Were there any ministers who took a leadership role in the black community?
In politics?
Right.
At that time? No. I don't think they ever should. Not politics.
Were your parents and or your grandparents slaves?
My father's father was. I don't know about my mother's people. I imagine they were too. But
do you know who his owners were?
Who's what?
Do you know the name of his owner?
No, I don't. No. I used to hear my father talk about it, but I don't know. It's been so long. I never did know any of my grandparents.
How many children did you have?
Only one son.
Can you give me his name and age?
Well, his name is Butch. Butch, we call him Gil. Well, I called him on the radio since he wasn't a year old.
His name was Butch, and you called him?
No, his name was Gil, but we called him Butch. And there's a nickname,
Is there any particular reason you named him Gale?
No, see, it was my wife's brother's son. Well, and his mother went off and left him, and he was a year old, just a baby. My wife and I took him and raised him.
Who decided the rules for your family back in the days?
Well, my mother and father both.
What about in your household? Who decided the rules?
Well, my wife and I wasn't we agreed on how things should be this way and that way.
Who disciplined your child?
We both.
Were there any black or white who married or lived together back then?
They always have.
Can you think of any?
Not the name all right, but I know they did, but that's the name ain't all right. They always mixing, you know.
Mm-hmm. How did you meet your wife?
Well, that's through my mother, you know, because I was, well, my mother and father, they remarried, and they were living there together. And after I got out of service, my wife and I busted up. Well, I used to be with my mom, you know, and after I started coming and stay with my mother and father, and that's how I met her.
How did people in your family feel about divorce?
Well, they thought, you know, they thought it was a bad thing. You know, two people couldn't get along, have to end up in court. You know, but it happened.
Did most people remarry after the divorce that you knew of?
No, my mother and father, they did.
When you were growing up, was there respect for the elderly?
Oh, yes, better respect.
If you didn't respect an elderly person, what would happen?
We'd get punished.
By whom?
Parents.
Did most men stay with their families, or did they leave home at a certain age, and why?
Well, most of the young fellas, they stayed at home until they were able to do for themselves, you know, then they got out on their own.
Were there many family reunions in your family? Did you all have a lot of family reunions?
No, he never did.
At what age did your son leave home and start assuming responsibilities for himself?
Must have been, I said, at 23, I said 23.
You stated that you raised your brother's,
My wife's brother.
your wife's brother's son.
Mm-hmm.
Was his name already Gail before?
His father's name was Gail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How was names in your family chosen? Do you remember?
I don't know.
Did you and your family attend church on a regular basis?
Yes.
Where was the church and what denomination was it?
My father was brought up in the Church of Christ.
And where's the Lord?
At that time, when I first got to Muncie, it was located on Penn Street. 900 block on, 900 block on the South Penn. But
Who was the pastor?
well, they didn't have just a regular pastor, you know, just the pastor, you know, come in, minister come in, all, once in a while, at that time.
How frequently did your church have services?
Well, every Sunday and Wednesdays they had the Bible study.
Did your entire family attend Bible study?
Yeah, you just had to go to church. You stayed home, you had to go to church.
Did your family have devotional?
Oh, yeah.
How often?
All the time, every day. My sister, she sang them. My brother, they all could sing. But me, I never could carry a tune. My father, he studied the Bible all the time.
Was he?
He wasn't a minister, but you'd think he was. But he just always.
Was he a deacon?
Was the Bible.
Was he a deacon?
They might call him the elder.
Was he a Mason?
No, he belonged just at the church.
Okay. Tell us some of the things your church did for your community during the 30s.
Well, they tried to get all the young people to attend church and try to teach them, the life and all the things they try to do to better their education, try to make something of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Did your mother work?
Yes, she did work, yeah.
What type of work did she
Well,
do?
she did some seamstress work on her own. She used to do seamstress work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Could you give me any information on how the relationship were between household and domestic, how household workers and domestic workers were treated by their employer?
Well, so I heard some of them were treated pretty good and some, just not too good,
Do you know of any particular white family that treated their workers
No,
particularly good?
No, not necessarily, no, I wouldn't say it. But I know, I just didn't hear people talk,
Did blacks have access to public facilities, for example, parks, transportation,
Yes.
restaurants?
Not restaurants, just parks and transportation.
Was there sections set off for black and white, or could everyone use the park freely?
They want to use the park freely, yeah. There's the restaurants, there's no restaurant at that time Negroes could go to.
Was there violence against blacks in your community during that time?
No.
What was the major fear of blacks at that time?
I don't think they had any fear. The only fear they really was just trying to find a decent employment where they could bring up their family, a decent kind of way.
Were blacks able to go to court at that time?
As far as I know, we were before.
Do you know who represented them? Represented them, being there were no black lawyers.
But they had to go find a white lawyer.
Were there any cases in which their employer would speak up for them?
Yeah, there has been occasion.
Were there any black judges?
No.
Any black policemen?
Yeah, policemen.
Could you give their names?
In the 30s.
In the 30s.
Well, there's George Peel.
Do you know where he lived?
Used to live at first in Ackley.
Go on.
Ray Armstrong. He lived in Whiteley. And Mr. Parnell. Parnell. And Mr. Sims. Mr. Parnell, he used to live on Hackler Street. And Mr. Sims lives on 8th Street, I think, 8th Street in Industry. Omar, what?
Are they all dead?
They're all dead.
Were there any black firemen?
Not that time.
Did blacks have pride in themselves in the old days?
Yes, they had pride in themselves.
How did you feel about being colored?
That's my color. I'm proud of my color.
Did you ever wish you were white?
No.
How do you feel about being called black today?
I don't like it because sometimes they use certain terms like it's something nasty or dirty. Just the expression.
So you would rather be called what?
I was just a plain Negro.
How do you feel about being called an Afro-American?
I don't know. I never want nothing to be called. I'd rather have that than called. I'd rather be called Afro-American than called a black.
Mm-hmm.
That comes back to Carson time.
Have you ever heard of the Afro-American newspaper?
No, I haven't.
The Black Star Press?
No. Not been here.
The Chicago Defender newspaper?
Yeah, I used to sell it.
You used to sell it as a child?
No, I used to, I used to take subscription. Chicago Defender sell papers.
In Muncie?
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
Well, back in the 30s, but I had to quit because the people wouldn't pay me.
Mm-hmm. What about the drone and guide? In the old days, did people talk much about Africa?
Oh, now and then, but there wasn't too much in the books on why they could learn anything about Africa. All to do just what I feel like it's just like what the white man writes, what the white man wanted to know. And the only thing they had to tell about Africa just like a bunch of savages and tell which we know now. Some of the best architectures come from that part of the country. Skilled people knew how to do things, but we wasn't taught that.
Did people in the 30s believe that people in Africa was a bunch of savages?
Well, that's what they wanted to taught them to believe.
Okay. How do you feel about Africa as a homeland?
I wouldn't know how to answer that.
Do you think black people have pride today?
I do.
Do you think it's better than it was in the old days?
Yes, I believe. I would say in the better because they had to make the best of the situation, but I think all black always had pride because they wouldn't made the advancement that they have.
Mm-hmm. In the past, how did blacks feel about working for other black people?
As far as I know, as long as they had a decent job making a living, regardless of who they were working for, just as long as they had something.
Would you have preferred to work for a black as opposed to white?
I would wouldn't let them different.
In the past, do you think young black children were ashamed of their race, color, when you were a child?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think this is so today?
I don't think they think anything about it. I don't believe.
When you were a child, did you ever have any black toys?
No.
What about some of your brothers and sisters?
I remember with sisters that had dolls, but none of
Were they black?
Yeah. I remember one of the kids, I believe them so much. So we called it colored doll.
Was this a very popular doll?
Oh, it wasn't a real black, the colored, brown skin doll wasn't real black,
In the past, how did most black people feel about fair-skinned blacks?
Well, it's like this, with a fair skin, well, they made other people, some of them made other people despise them because they want to be much more than the other darker people. That's what made the difference. Because they felt that color made them better than the rest of them.
And were they in fact better off than the rest of them?
I never see it. Because they didn't get any farther than the rest of them, not that way some of them ended up.
Did they tend to have better homes or jobs at that time because...
No, I wouldn't say they did, no.
In the past, how did men and women fix themselves up during the 30s? For example, their hairstyle, their cosmetics.
Oh, they used all cosmetics and the dress. Try to get the latest fashions of the time. Let them dress real swell.
Did men process their hair?
Yeah.
Was this something that all black men did?
Well, not all of them, but, quite a few of them did.
Did people wear their hair long and short at that time?
Well, nothing, no, they wasn't long, no.
What about the women? Did they wear a lot of makeup?
Some of them did. The Muslims use makeup, but some of them use more than others.
How do you feel today about wigs?
Some people they become, some they don't.
What about
My wife, I didn't know she was wearing it because I didn't like it.
what about fros?
What?
Afros.
Afro. It's all right if it's kept up in the right way.
Cone robes?
I don't care for that.
What
Might
about
look all right on women. I don't think now it don't look all right on a man.
what about eyeshadow?
Oh, it's all right on some. Some look good on some it doesn't.
This concludes my second session with you. This is James Gardner, interviewer. This is June 12th, 1980.